There are over 275 million cars registered in the United States alone. And to think we are inching our way closer to having cars that can drive themselves. How does that happen? Those cars have a combination of lasers and cameras and sensors and sonar. And the car takes all of that information and paints a picture for what the car needs to do moving forward on its own. It's interesting that we have self-driving cars, but one of the things we do not have are self-driving organizations. Organizations still require leadership. You've probably heard about getting hit by the proverbial bus and what happens in your organization if somebody does get hit by that bus. The reality is, barely one person a day gets hit by a bus in the United States, but 3,800 people a day die from cancer and heart-related illnesses alone. What does that mean? It means that something could go wrong in your organization. One of your key players could come down with an illness. They could have to step out of the role that they're in. They might even just up and quit. And that could put your organization at risk. And that is what succession planning is all about. Let me share with you 4 principles that could help you be better prepared for planning for succession. What are the critical positions in our organization? What positions that if something happened to one of those leaders, one of those managers, our organization could struggle, could experience serious consequences very quickly. The second thing you could do in preparing for succession is to ask yourself this question: what happens if? And what I mean by that is, what happens if something were to happen to that key person, that supervisor, that leader, that manager, that owner? What would happen in our organization today? What would happen tomorrow? What would happen next month? The third thing you could do to prepare your organization for succession is to discuss it. Make discussion of succession a regular part of your organization's vocabulary. Don't be afraid to talk about it. People will eventually retire. People will eventually want to step down. People will eventually, unfortunately, get sick. And having this be a part of your vocabulary makes it less awkward and makes it more normalized. The last thing you could do to prepare for succession in your organization is literally to plan. And what I mean by that is to take the time and start mapping out who could step into someone's shoes if they needed to, both in an emergency situation or for long-term planning. This is where you take the time to look at the person, look at the responsibilities, and look at your bench and who has talent, who could be developed, and where you might even need to make an outside hire. I'd love to hear more of your comments regarding succession and how your organization approaches this issue. Please comment below, and thank you for watching.